my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Monica and I go by Mika Knits here on YouTube and over on Instagram. This is my little crafty corner of YouTube where I get to share with you all of the crafty things that I'm doing. I mainly knit. I also do some crochet and other needle art. So let's get into today's video. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video. Normally I just jump straight into the knitting and crafting that I'm doing, but today I wanted to have a little bit of a chat because I have had a few things going on that I just wanted to chat about. So let's get into it. Just as kind of a disclaimer, I will be talking about some health issues in the female reproductive area and hospital and things like that. So if you are someone who does not want to hear about that kind of thing and you just want to hear about the crafty talk, or if it just makes you uncomfortable for whatever reason it is, feel free to go ahead and skip this beginning part of the video because I will be talking about some of that stuff. I will put timestamps in the description box down below as well if you want to skip ahead just to make it easier for you. So let's get into it. First things first, I just want to say that I am totally fine. I am here, I am alive, everything is great. But I fully intended to make a video like a couple of weeks ago. I intended to make a video so that it wouldn't be another 3 months, 2 months before you saw me on this channel again. For all you guys who do watch my videos, thank you so much. But I had something happen to me. Basically what happened is I was admitted into the hospital. So I had gone home a couple of weeks ago. This happened like midweek. I went home from work early. I work a 9-to-5 job. And I went home from work early because I thought I was just feeling sick. I just thought I was really shaky, getting the shakes, very, very, very cold, feeling like I was going to vomit, throw up. I thought maybe I was just getting sick again. I really didn't think too much of it. But anyway, I went home sick. I got home and promptly took a nap. Like I just promptly went to sleep because I was just so tired. And my Apple Watch actually kept going off and just kind of really annoying me because I was trying to sleep, and it kept going off. And about the 8th time after it went off, I finally looked at it because I got so irritated, and it was telling me, well, it was trying to tell me that I had an elevated heart rate for being at a resting state, so an elevated resting heart rate. And if it was like 90 or 100 even, or something like around that area, I wouldn't have been concerned about it, but it was like 130, like 130, 132, 35. It was really, really high. And so I took my fever. I didn't have a fever at the time, but I just didn't really know what was going on, like why my heart rate was so high. It was starting to make me feel really faint, just very lethargic. I was just confused. So I talked to my mom, I talked to my brother actually, and we ended up deciding that I needed to go see a doctor. So my brother actually drove me to an urgent care, and then from there had to drive me to an emergency room because the urgent care told me that I should go to an emergency room. So I went to an emergency room, and then from there I was admitted into the hospital for a couple of days with an infection. So basically, sometimes when you have an infection, if it's a serious infection like mine was, it can cause all of those things. It can cause you to have a fever, maybe a fever like mine that just comes in and out. It can cause you to have that elevated heart rate when you're resting. It can cause sweats, chills, all kinds of different things can happen when you have an infection like that. So that's essentially what happened. I was admitted into the hospital with a very serious infection. My ER doctor was like very concerned. He said I was very close to sepsis. Actually, they thought I had sepsis for a minute, but which, if you don't know, sepsis can be very, very serious. It can actually be even fatal. So that's why I was admitted to the hospital, because it was a serious infection. So they just wanted to monitor me for a couple of days, see how I responded to antibiotics and all of that. And luckily, I did respond very, very well to the antibiotics that they put me on, and then went home after a couple of days and had to be still on the antibiotics for at least a couple of weeks after that. So that's essentially what happened. Very unexpected. I'm the type of person who doesn't really make a big deal out of things. I just kind of think that everything's fine. So like when I had this elevated heart rate, I was like telling my brother, I was like, no, I'm fine. It's nothing. It's not, don't worry about it. It's whatever, you know? And he was the one really urging me to go see a doctor, because it was very, very odd for me to have that elevated heart rate. And yeah, very concerning. So when the doctor at the ER doctor told me that I was very close to sepsis, I was very surprised. And then I was also very, very surprised when they told me that I had to be admitted to the hospital. So, because I've never been admitted to a hospital before. I've never been a sick person. I've luckily never had to have a hospital stay for any reason. So that was really scary, actually. Very confusing for me at the time too, because I just didn't know that you could be essentially so close to dying, basically, and not realize it. I didn't think that happened, but it does. So essentially, that's what happened. While I was in the hospital, the ER doctor did confirm that I had an infection. And this is where it gets a little bit graphic, and I'm sorry if you are uncomfortable hearing about it, but I think it's important for us to talk about these kinds of things. So I'm going to let you know that I did have the infection in my uterus. I had a uterine infection. The doctors at the time were very confused as to why I got this uterine infection, and did a bunch of different tests on me: CT scan, ultrasound, blood cultures, all kinds of different things that they did on me to figure out why I got the infection and exactly where it was. So it took them a little while to figure out that it was in my uterus. And once they determined that, they were trying to figure out why I had gotten the infection in my uterus. A lot of the times, uterine infection, acute pelvic inflammatory disorder is actually what they call it, or disease. And normally that is something that is reserved for individuals who might be perhaps HIV positive, or super promiscuous in their lives, or perhaps even have been assaulted. And none of those things apply to me. So it wasn't any of that. I also didn't have an infection in another part of my body that could have moved and caused it. So they really didn't know why I was getting these infections, or that infection, until they did an ultrasound on me. And they determined, me and the doctors found out at the same time, that I have something that is called uterine fibroids. Basically, if you don't know, uterine fibroids are non-cancerous tumors that grow in the uterus. They can be in a lot of different places in the uterus, either within, outside, or within the uterine lining. They could be in different places in the uterus. I'm sure if you are very curious about it, you can look it up and find out all kinds of stuff about uterine fibroids. But essentially, they determined that that is what I have. They determined that by the size of my uterus. They said it was the size of a 4-month pregnant person, which is crazy. That is crazy to think about. That's just wild to me. It was absolutely massive. They showed me, I saw it. It was insane. And so I have that. And I also have another tumor. And this is where I'm going to put another disclaimer: prepare yourself for grossness. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to tell you. So I have another tumor on my right ovary that is a tumor that's a different type of tumor. It's also a non-cancerous tumor. In very rare cases, it can be cancerous, but they have determined that mine is not. Mine is benign. It is a tumor called a teratoma tumor. Now, I didn't know what a teratoma tumor was. I had to look it up, but my doctor told me what it was before I looked it up, and I honestly didn't think that those kinds of tumors were real. I thought that they were fake. I thought, no, that's just something that you hear about on TV. Like, that's not real. Like, that's OMG, you guys. That they're very real. If you don't know, prepare yourself. But if you don't know, teratoma tumors are the type of tumors that are normally benign, like I said, but they can grow inside of them or outside of them. I don't even know. Things, other body parts, basically. They could grow hair, they could grow teeth, they could grow eyes, they have sebum. Oh my gosh, just all kinds of disgusting. So if you are like me and somebody who likes to Google these things and find out, I Googled it and I told my doctor, I was like, I could only Google it once because, oh my goodness, the grossness, like, ugh, so disgusting, but like, they're so gross. So if you are somebody who Googles it, just prepare yourself. I am telling you now that it is absolutely disgusting. So I'm very sorry if you Google this. But anyway, I found out I have one of those. Mine is about 4.5 centimeters in diameter, and it is on my right ovary. I'm not too worried about it, though. It's not causing any other issues, and it is benign, and it can be removed fairly easily from what my doctor has told me at the procedure. She said that they are very common. When she told me I had one, she was like, oh, I just took one of these out last week on somebody else. And so I was like, okay, well, if it's a common thing and she's not very worried about it, therefore I'm not very worried about it. So I'm not very worried about the teratoma tumor. It's kind of hard to say, but I'm not too worried about that. One of the things that I am worried about, though, is the uterine fibroids, the other tumors. Okay. Break. Sorry, I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, somebody was trying to tell me something, so sorry about that pause. But I think I was saying I'm not too worried about the teratoma tumor. I'm more worried about the uterine fibroids that I have. I'm trying to be positive and not worry about it too much because I feel like manifesting is real. We make our own destinies. I'm trying to stay positive. I know that everything is going to be okay, but the uterine fibroids are very concerning and very odd too. I before they told me I had these, I had never heard of uterine fibroids before. I didn't know that I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I didn't know that they existed, essentially. I'd never heard of them before. My mom had never heard of them before. My sisters have never heard of them before. It was just totally new to us. But my doctor did tell me that something like 80% of women have these tumors, these fibroids, as they call them. And that's a lot. 80% is a lot. And so I've done a lot of research into them, suffice to say, and a couple of other people in my life who had heard of them before, unfortunately, told me, and some of the advice and information that you can find on uterine fibroids on the internet, on YouTube, on all kinds of other outlets, blogs and everything. A lot of women will say that hysterectomies are the only way to rid yourself of uterine fibroids, or the only way to take care of them, basically. And if I was older, if I had a family of my own, if my situation was different, then I would probably be okay with that. But I am only 37. I'm only 37. I do not have any children yet, hopefully. I do not have any children, and I am very single and unmarried. And so for me, and like I said, I am 37. For me, last year was the year that I hit that sort of wall that a lot of women hit. Not all women, but a lot of women will hit a wall because of our biological clocks. We kind of, unfortunately, have a window in which we can bear children and all of that. And it was only last year that I figured out that I do want to not be alone and have a family and perhaps get married one day and have children. But because I am older, I am feeling it on a little bit of a time crunch. But it was only last year that I figured that out. And so for me, hysterectomy is not an option. For me, I want to do everything that I can to preserve fertility. So luckily, hysterectomy is not an option for me. Some of the other surgery options are also not an option because there's a lot of different surgeries that you can do. But unfortunately, not a lot of them preserve fertility. And so luckily, I have an incredible doctor who is, she's wonderful actually, and she has told me that preserving my fertility is the number one priority for her through this whole thing. So she did say that I do need surgery, obviously. I don't know how many I'm calling them tumors because it's just easier to say than fibroids. I don't know, fibroids sounds really weird, so I'm going to call them tumors. But she did say that I do need to do more tests. Essentially what is going to happen from now on is that I need to do a lot more tests to figure out how many fibroids, tumors I have, and where they are, where they're located, and how big they are. And from there, we can determine and talk about what kind of surgery options are going to be open to me to preserve fertility and all of that. So that is the next step. The infection, luckily, I'm happy to say, is gone. I did respond very, very well to antibiotics, and that has been taken care of. So now I'm trying to get my gut health into a healthier place by taking pre and probiotics and all of that. So trying to get myself into a healthier place as well, just because being in the hospital, like I said, I had never had a hospital stay before this, but being in the hospital, I was absolutely miserable. It is not a place that I want to be at ever again unless I have to. So it was very eye-opening, very enlightening, and I just don't want to have to be at that place again. So I'm trying to get myself into a healthier place and prioritize my health, as my grandmother always used to tell us. She always used to say, if you have your health, you have everything. And I never knew what she was talking about, but she's absolutely right. You really do. So that is what's going on with me. So I am totally fine, but going forward, I will have a lot going on. So, but I will continue to make videos on this channel. I will continue to try my best to do that as often as I can, and to show you all of my crafty makes, because I love doing it. And I will try to, for all of anybody who's watching who might be interested, let me know, and I will continue to give you all health updates and let you know how my journey really from here is going and how it's going to go. And yeah, but all good news. Everything is going to be fine from here on out. Like I said, I'm being really positive. So yeah, basically I wanted to explain that though, because like I said, I fully intended to make a video, and then all of this happened, and I was like, okay, I needed to focus on my health and getting better. So that's what happened. That's why I was in the hospital, but everything is good. So let's go ahead and just jump straight into the crafty talk from there. I will say, if you have any other questions about this kind of thing, if you're worried about it for yourself or somebody, one of your loved ones, somebody that you know, shoot me a line, send me an email, send me a direct message on Instagram. I'd be happy to talk about it with any of you guys that might be interested. So, and I'm not shy, as you might be able to tell from this video, about sharing all of the nitty-gritty. So definitely feel free to shoot me a message if you are interested. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get straight into the crafty talk. I don't have a ton of things to show you today. I don't have any finished objects or anything, but I do have two new cast-ons that I wanted to show you and talk about. So I have two new cast-ons, soon to be three, but we won't talk about that one. But two new cast-ons, and I have a new acquisition as well. So let's get into today's video and talk about it. So let's start with works in progress. Let me take my sip. I don't know if any of you guys have Dutch Brothers coffee in your area or state, but they are so good. They're so delicious. I got this new coffee called German chocolate mocha. It's like it tastes like a German chocolate cake, and it's just like iced coffee or whatever. It's so good. Like, wow, delicious. So good. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And then for later, I have my cupcake. I made cupcakes yesterday and coronation quiche yesterday as well, because I am if you don't know, I don't think I've talked about this, but I am a massive royal fan. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, I'm completely obsessed. Specifically with the Prince and Princess of Wales. I adore them. Oh, I love them so much. But I was very excited yesterday for the King's coronation on Saturday, and so I woke up really early. I'm coming to you from the United States. I'm coming to you from the west coast of the United States. I'm in Washington State. And so to watch the King's coronation here in Washington State in the United States, I had to wake up I woke up a bit late, but it started for us. If you wanted to watch it live, it started at 2 a.m. our time. And so you either had to stay up or just go to bed super early and wake up to watch it. But for me, I haven't done that. I woke up really early to watch it live. I woke up a little bit, like I said, I woke up around 3:30, and so I missed the beginning. But I saw the rest of it. It didn't end for us until around 6:30, 6 o'clock. So so I got to see a good chunk of it all. I got to see the crowning and everything like that. So that was really exciting. But I haven't done that. I haven't woke up for an event to watch something with the British royal family since Will and Kate's wedding. I haven't done that for a while, but I was so excited for the coronation. So I made cupcakes, I made the quiche and everything else. So I'm gonna eat my cupcake after I make this video. But anyway, so let's get into it. I have couple works in progress. Let me show you, but I'll start with the one that I showed you in the last video. This is the one that I've been working on for a little while. That is my Aurora Cabin shawl. So this is a pattern by Stephen West. I do a lot of Stephen West patterns on this channel. If you go back and watch the videos, you'll see I do a lot of them. I really love Stephen West. I love his personality, and I love a lot of his designs. I don't love every design, but I love a lot of his designs. So I do a lot of his work. I will get this on a different video so I could put it here on the side so you guys can see. Hopefully you can get a better view, but this is where I'm at on my Aurora Cabin shawl. Basically, last night I finished the last section of this beautiful slip stitch design, not cross stitch, slip stitch design. I finished the last section of that. As you can see, there's 3 of them. So I finished that last night, and now this shawl is really, really large. Like, this is on a big 60-inch, actually I think it might be 42. I think it's on a big 42-inch circular needle here, and I can't stretch it all out to show you, otherwise it'll fall off. So it's getting really, really large. It is already really, really large, but you have the option when knitting this shawl to either finish it off here, and you could do a beautiful I-cord bind off right here. So after you finish this third slip stitch design here, you could just bind off the pattern if you wish to do so. You could totally do that, and it will be large enough to wrap around you even then. Or you have the option of doing this beautiful chevron border for the shawl, and then ending it like that. So for me, I've actually decided to go ahead and do the chevron border. I was a little bit worried the last video, I think. I was a little bit worried that I was going to run out of yarn for for that, but I honestly think that I'm gonna be okay. I weighed the yarn. I found out that I actually have more yardage than I think that I do, so I think it's gonna be totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do the chevron border. I just ended the last slip stitch design, like I said, last night, so I haven't started the chevron border, but I will start that tonight. So hopefully that won't take me very long, but it is very large. I think there's over 700 stitches right now on the shawl, so it's getting up there. But yeah, I quite enjoy this shawl. I think it's actually really beautiful. The yarn that I'm using for this shawl is by Momonoki, so it's Momonoki yarn. I think it's their fine sock yarn, I want to say. It's a merino mix, and I can't remember what the mix is with, but anyway, it's Momonoki fine sock yarn. I got this yarn in a kit from StephenandPenelope.com. If you don't know Stephen West, I think he co-owns a yarn shop over in Amsterdam that is called Stephen and Penelope, and luckily Stephen and Penelope is awesome. I want to one day visit that shop in person because they're just so fabulous, but like, they actually sell kits. They sell kits online for a lot of Stephen's patterns. So I would go ahead and check out their website if you can. They have a lot of different patterns that you can buy kits for. Basically all Stephen's patterns, basically. And for this one at the time, because this was the Hyper Knit Along pattern that he did back in January, they were selling kits. I'm not sure if they have any more kits available for this shawl. I'm sure they do, but I haven't checked, so I wouldn't know. But at the time, I bought this as a kit. It was a little bit pricey because it was Momonoki yarn, but I'm really actually happy. I'm glad that I bought the kit because I really love this yarn. I think it's fantastic. It's so soft, squishy, and it just knits up so well. So yeah, I really like this. For this pattern, you use 5 different colors, and I can't remember the names of the colors that the yarn that I purchased is, but it was the whole kit was called Mocha Teak, and I know those are 2 of the colors: Mocha, Teak, I think silver, copper, and something else. So anyway, that is the yarn that I'm using. This shawl is knit from the top down, so when I'm holding it like this, I'm holding it backwards or upside down, not backwards, upside down, holding it upside down. But it's basically, this is the top here, and it's knit from the top down. When you knit from the top down, as you can see, it starts with this beginning right here, and it just kind of expands out from there. So you do a lot of increases, knit front and back kind of a thing. So, and it just expands. It gets really big. I think I started with like maybe, I don't know, 9 or 10 stitches, and now I have over 700. So getting pretty big, getting pretty large, but I'm actually loving it. I love this pattern. I love this shawl. I love this slip stitch design. It's absolutely fabulous, and it's so simple. Like, it looks like it's really complicated, but it's actually very easy to do. So I really like it, you guys. And I know that Stephen has gotten some other designs incorporating this same slip stitch pattern. That's hard for me to say. Slip stitch pattern. Slip stitch, is it pattern or design? Whatever. Anyway, slip stitch pattern. I know that he has incorporated this same slip stitch pattern right here into some of his other designs. I think he even has a sweater and a hat and all kinds of different things with that same slip stitch design. So yeah, so I would highly recommend checking out the Aurora Cabin shawl like I'm making here, or another one of Steven's patterns with that slip stitch design, because I just think it's so great. It's so much fun to do. You really wouldn't think that it was like that, but it's really just, I just love it. Anyway, so that's where I'm at with my Aurora Cabin shawl. The other works in progress that I talked about the last video with you guys, I think that was my Felix cardigan, not cardigan, pullover. My Felix pullover and my slip extravaganza blanket. I showed those works in progress to you the last video, but I haven't made any progress. I haven't worked on them at all since I showed you guys those projects on the last video. So I'm not going to show them to you here because there's no progress on them and it would be really boring to talk about something that I didn't work on. So I'm not going to do that. But but I'm still working on those. They are still on the needles. They're just having a sleep right now. Just on a little break from those because I have a couple of other projects that I decided to cast on. So let me show those to you now. I want to show you the first one because I'm really excited about it. Okay, so the first works in progress that I recently started is a crop top. So I'm very excited to show it to you because it is something that I'm calling my summer knit. I wanted to have a knit this year that was a summer knit, something that I could wear and work on in the summer months. So I decided to go ahead and cast on a crop top. It's called Mount Pleasant. So it's a light crop top with a beautiful lacy hem. This is a pattern by Pip and Pin. I can't remember her first name. Gosh, that's annoying. I can't remember her first name. I will put the information in the description box down below. But essentially her design is her designs, she goes by Pip and Pin. I found her from Jody of Worsted Wolf Designs. I found her from Jody Kerpiel from Worsted Wolf Designs. I will also link her Instagram and YouTube account so you can check out her videos. She knit a beautiful pullover sweater by Pip and Pin, and so I was very curious about Pip and Pin's designs, and I saw her Instagram and she had this beautiful summer crop top that was very simple looking that she posted on her Instagram, and so I really loved it and I said, oh, I want to make that one. That's going to be my summer knit. So I went ahead and purchased the pattern on Ravelry. I will insert a picture of the crop top so you can see what it looks like. But I decided to go ahead and make my crop top in this yarn here. This is a beautiful, very bright and in-your-face kind of yarn. This is a yarn, I've never used this yarn before. It's yarn by Kelborn Woolens. It is their perennial yarn. It's basically a fingering weight yarn. It's got 60% superwash merino, 25% cereal alpaca, and 15% nylon in it. And I got this gorgeous, gorgeous color called Neon Coral. So that is the yarn that I'm using by Kelborn Woolens. It is an incredibly soft yarn. I just absolutely love it. The color is fantastic. Like, it's really just bright, vivacious, just really in your face, really fantastic. But because it has that Suri alpaca yarn in it, it is incredibly soft and very squishy, and it does have a little tiny bit of a halo. There's not a lot of that Suri alpaca, so there's there's just a small little halo effect, but I love it. It is a fantastic yarn, and I loved this color for summer. I thought it would be really super fun. So that is the yarn that I'm using. Let me show you my progress. I did start it already, and this is the progress that I've made so far. So this crop top is actually knit from the bottom up. So I've never knit a garment from the bottom up. I've always started sweaters and pullovers and everything from top down. So I've always started basically at the neck and then do the body, break for the sleeves, and then knit down. I've always done it that way. I've never done it this way before, from the bottom up. So this is totally new, but I actually really like it. So it's all stockinette from here, but I basically have done this gorgeous scalloped lacy edge that the crop top has. So I don't know if you can see, but it's got a beautiful scalloped lacy little edge. Very simple lace pattern, very, very easy. There's only yarn overs, decreases, and very simple. It's not complicated at all. So that's the scalloped lace pattern that it gives you, and then from there you just do stockinette. So the rest of this is going to be all stockinette, very, very simple. And like I said, it is a crop top. So I've gotten some good progress on it, but I really like the way that it's knitting up. I really like this yarn. Like I said, it's incredibly soft. I can't wait to wear it, and I think it's going to look great. So I normally don't make projects with a deadline or anything like that unless I'm doing a test knit, but this one I have in mind to wear for the summertime. So I want to try to finish this project within the next month. Hopefully I can finish it at the end of May, but I have an idea to wear this crop top at an event that's taking place here in Washington State. So Washington State is where I am, and there's a ton of different yarn festivals and all kinds of different things happening around the United States. Like they have Rhinebeck every year and things like that. And unfortunately, I'm not able to go to a lot of those events that are taking place elsewhere, just because I don't really have a ton of money, and I don't really have a ton of money to spend to go to a yarn event, because I know how much money I spend at yarn events, and I want to have spending money. And then anyway, the whole thing is just a little bit too much for me. So I'm very happy to say that we have a yarn festival coming up here in Washington State in August. It is a festival called the Flock Fiber Festival. It is a brand new one, you guys. It is a brand new festival, yarn festival for us knitters, crocheters, crafty makers, all kinds of stuff. And I'm very excited about it. So it's going to take place, I want to say it's the first weekend of August, because I think it's August 5th through the 7th. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the first weekend in August. It's going to be in Seattle at a place called Magnuson Park. And it is an event in which you do have to buy tickets for, but luckily they're not very expensive. So me and my mom are going to be purchasing tickets for the Friday and the Saturday event coming up. And because it's the first Flock Fiber Festival, and I'm really hoping that it can be like Stitches West, like the West Coast version, Seattle, Washington version of like Rhinebeck or something. I really want it to be special. I've decided to make this crop top, this beautiful, beautiful crop top, Mount Pleasant Tea. I've decided to make it for the event. So I'm hoping to finish it hopefully by the end of this month, May, if not the mid-range of June, or at least by the end of June, so that I can wear it to the festival in August. So yeah, I'm very excited to do that. Because it's a crop top and doesn't feel like it's going to take me very long, I think I'll be okay to finish it. So that's the plan with my Mount Pleasant tee by Pip and Pin. I'm hopefully going to finish that soon, and I'll be wearing it to the Flock Fiber Festival coming up in August. So I'm very excited. If you are in the Washington, Seattle area and you haven't heard of the Flock Fiber Festival, they have an Instagram and they have a website that you can check out some event details on. And you can buy tickets on their website as well. They're very open to tickets right now, so you can do that. I would check it out if you're in the area, or even if you're in the close relative area and you travel for these kinds of events. I would check it out. They're, like I said, they're a new festival and I can't wait. I'm so excited. So if you're in the area and you're going to the festival, hopefully I see you there. That would be so much fun. Let me know if you're going. So I will be filming as well. So we're gonna buy tickets for the Saturday and Sunday, me and my mom, and I think my mom's friend might be coming as well. So the one that I told you about the last video, her friend Pam, who is an incredible knitter, I think she might be coming to the festival with us too. So that'll be really fun. So we're gonna go on the Saturday and Sunday. We're gonna buy tickets for both days, and I will be filming it. I'm not sure which day I'm going to be filming or if I'm going to film both days, but I will take you guys along. So if you're not able to attend, you could check out my video and let me know if there's something that you'd like to see. I don't know if they're going to have like animals or anything like that, like a petting zoo or a farm, or if we're going to get to see any of the alpacas or sheep or anything like that. I don't know, but I'll update you guys and take you guys along in any case. So very excited about that. So that's coming up in August. So I have that planned. And then the other thing that I also have planned, I guess I'll just talk about my plans before I show you my next work in progress. So let's talk about my plans. First plan is the Flock Fiber Festival coming up in August. And then the next one is actually coming up in a couple of weeks. That is the Puget Sound Local Yarn Shop Tour. So I did this local yarn shop tour last year. If you go back in my previous videos, you could check out our tour last year. Me and my mom went to several different yarn stores in the area last year, and we're going to do it again this year. So we're going to go ahead and go again on the Puget Sound Local Yarn Shop Tour. It's coming up here in a couple of weeks. It takes place, I think, May 17th through the 20th or something like that. So towards the end of this month. And I will be taking you guys along for that as well. I think we're only going to do one day again, so hopefully we get to visit some of the shops that we liked the last time. There was a shop in Edmonds, Washington called All Wound Up that I absolutely adored, and I cannot wait to go there again. So very excited about that. There's also another shop in Mount Vernon, Washington that I really enjoyed, and a couple of other shops that we didn't get to go to last time that we're hoping to visit this time. So going to be a little bit different hopefully than the last yarn shop tour, but I will have another one coming up for you guys soon. So look forward to that as well. And yeah, so those are all my plans. Those are all the plans that I have for you guys. But I also have one more work in progress that I want to share with you. So let's get into that. Gosh. Take another sip. So the next work in progress that I want to share with you, let me get my cupcake out of the way because it is sitting on top of my Outlander knitting book, you guys. This is my Outlander knitting book, and I have started my first project from the Outlander knitting book. So the project that I'm making, I have here outlined. The project that I'm making is the I Found Him cardigan. This is a project, or not a project, a design by Holly Yo. I think is how you say her last name, Y-E-O-H, Holly Yo. This is her beautiful I Found Him cardigan. I will insert a better picture so you guys can see it better, but this is the I Found Him lace cardigan. This is inspired by a beautiful cardigan that Claire from Outlander wears in, I think, the second season, or no, just kidding, it's the third season. She wears it in one of the episodes of the third season of Outlander. I am a huge Outlander fan. I've talked about Outlander before. I absolutely adore it. I love both the books and the show. They're just so great. So I would recommend checking out Outlander if you haven't. If you've never read the books, read the books or listen to the books like I do, they're fabulous. So anyway, I love Outlander, and I love some of Claire's clothes and all the different costumes that they wear on that show. So I was really, really excited about this Outlander knitting book, and they have this design inspired by one of the cardigans that Claire wears. I Found Him cardigan. It's basically the cardigan that she's wearing when she finds out that Jamie, her lost love, long lost love, has survived the Battle of Culloden. Which is a huge, huge moment in the Outlander series and books. So yeah, so it's I Found Him lace cardigan. I have started it. Let me show you my start, because I don't have progress. I'll just show you where I've started. It's not a lot going on yet, but I have started it. So this cardigan is actually knit in pieces. I have knit a pullover that was in pieces, where you knit the front panel and then the back panel and then kind of sew it all up together, and then do the arms and stuff like that. I have done that before, so I'm not new to that, but this is a little bit different, because the one that I knit was a pullover, so I could knit the entire front piece and then the entire back piece all together. Not together, but I can knit them individually, and then it was the whole thing, and I just had to sew up two sides basically, and that was it. So that was a little bit easier, but this one is a cardigan, so I have to knit 2 panels for the front, 1 panel for the back, and then I have to knit the arms up as well, that get sewn on. So a little bit different, a lot of different pieces to knit, but I have started. So I've started with the back, because that's just what's written in the pattern. So here is my I Found Him lace cardigan. I can't really stretch it out that much, because I'm knitting this on straight needles, and there's not enough room for me to stretch it all out so you can see. But I'll try to get a better picture of this like I've done and post it on the side here so you guys can get a better view. But this is where I'm at on the I Found Him lace cardigan. It's a beautiful, beautiful design, if you can see that lace pattern. Beautiful, beautiful design. It is very, very easy. Very, very simple. It is not it's not a complicated lace pattern. If you're somebody who might be a little bit scared of lace, or you don't do a lot of lace, or it just is intimidating in any way to you, I would try something like this that is very, very simple, that is not complicated, that are just basic yarn overs and decreases. They're very, very easy. So nothing crazy there. Very simple design, but it actually is knitting up beautifully. So this is my I Found Him lace cardigan so far. The yarn that I'm using for this, I shared with you the last time, but let me just show you again. This is the yarn that I'm using for this. Grab one of these to show you. This is the yarn here. I'm using yarn by Onling, I think is how you say. It's a Danish word, so I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. But Onling yarn I'm using. It is a super fine merino wool and 10% cashmere. So it's a beautiful, 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 and I'm using it in this beautiful deep red. It's basically like an oxblood burgundy kind of red. It's really, really gorgeous. So I absolutely love it. Super squishy, super soft, very lightweight, perfect for a lightweight cardigan, lightweight lace cardigan. So I'm really happy with the way that this is knitting up. But anyway, this is the yarn that I'm using. It is Onling number 11 superfine merino wool and cashmere yarn. So that is what I'm using. I will link the information in the website for Onling yarn in the description box down below, because I really like Onling yarn. I can't wait to buy from them again, and all of their yarn is sustainable yarn. So they have sustainably made cashmere, wool, and other fibers, I think like linen and stuff like that, that you can select from. And they're really, really well-made yarns, and just a joy to work with. So I would check out Onling yarn if you haven't. They're fabulous. So that's the yarn that I'm using. I'm very happy with it. But yeah, that's my I Found Him lace cardigan. I sort of recently begun that. I started that right when I got home from the hospital. I started that, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm going a little bit slower with the I Found Him lace cardigan than I am with the crop top that I'm making, but either way, I think it's okay. So those are the two projects, you guys. Those are the two projects that I have, that I'm working on, that I started. And yeah, I'm very happy with them. I hope you guys like them. Like I said, for all of the things that I've talked about, I will link all the information in the description box down below so you can check it out if you'd like to. The last thing I want to show you guys, last thing I have to talk about, is an acquisition. So there's not too many yarn shops that are in the Washington area that are where I live. Right now, I'm in Washington State, but I'm not in Seattle. I'm about an hour outside of Seattle, roughly, give or take, without traffic. I'm about an hour outside of Seattle, in a town called Puyallup. So it's Seattle's here, and we're south of Seattle. So we're south of Seattle, and I think once you get past a certain point out of Seattle, there's not a lot of yarn shops in that area of South Seattle. There's not a lot of them for whatever reason. Kind of disappointing that there's not a lot of options, but there isn't. So, but I did find a couple of yarn shops that are sort of close to me. They're not like super close, but they're close enough. So we went to a couple of yarn shops to check them out, and I will tell you what they're called in the description box down below. I just can't think of them on the top of my head right now, but went to a couple of yarn shops in the local area down here in the South Sound, and I picked up one thing at a little yarn shop, and that is my cow. So I picked up another Tolt Yarn Edwards Menagerie item. This is Morag, the Highland Coo. Isn't she beautiful? I love it. I love it so much. So Morag, I think is how you say her name. Please correct me if I'm saying it wrong, because I'm technically Scottish and Irish, but I obviously live in America, and I am American, and I'm not from there. So if I am saying it wrong, please correct me. But Morag is the Highland Coo, and she is gorgeous. She is a Highland cow. Highland, so that's why she's got these big loopies. Big, a lot of fur, I think is what you call it. A lot of fur. They have these beautiful horns. She's so cute, and you can't even see her eyes. She's so cute that you can't even see her eyes. Isn't that adorable? I just love it. I love it. I actually love these Tolt Yarn Edwards Menagerie. I have a couple of them that I've made. I have one of them here. This is Benedict. Benedict is my absolute favorite. Benedict is my gorgeous little chimpanzee that I made last year, and I adore chimpanzees. They are my absolute favorite. Like, if I had one favorite animal, it would be a chimpanzee. I haven't met a chimpanzee before. I feel like I'd start crying if I met a chimpanzee. Oh my god, I love them so much. But like, this is my chimpanzee here. Very cute. His name is Benedict. I think it's a perfect name for him because he's just so dapper and so cute. I want to make him some glasses or something. Get him for him, stick him on there. But this is Benedict. He's always with me. Benedict is always in my videos, and I love him. He's great. I've also made Emma Bunny. I think I talked about her in one of my videos the last time. I made Emma Bunny, but I made Emma Bunny for my niece. So my niece has Emma Bunny, and I don't have her here to show you. But I have a lot of yarn left over from Emma Bunny, so I'm actually thinking about making another Emma Bunny so that I can display Emma Bunny in my space, because I thought that would be fun. So I might make another Emma Bunny though. I might do that, but I'm very excited also to be making Morag. I think she's absolutely beautiful. She's so cute. So so that's my new acquisition. I haven't opened it yet, so I haven't started it, but that's my acquisition. That's what I'm going to be making soon. So yeah, so that's it, you guys. I don't have anything else to show you. That's all I had for you today. Yeah, nothing else to show you. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I know this one is a little bit of a chattier video than my normal stuff, and I don't have a ton of crafty things to show you, unfortunately, but I hope you did enjoy what I did show you, and I'm very excited about the things that I'm making, and I just love sharing them with you guys, so I really hope you enjoy it. Please let me know if there's anything that you want to see in any of my upcoming videos. If you're curious about my Slipstravaganza blanket or any of the other projects that I'm working on, feel free to let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I don't think I hear from you guys enough. So let me know what you'd like to see. Also, let me know what you'd like to see in my upcoming videos that I have planned for you guys. If you have anything that you want to see, any specific yarn shop in the local Washington State area that you want to see on my Puget Sound Local Yarn Shop tour coming up in a couple of weeks, or anything that you want to see at the upcoming Flock Fiber Festival that you want to see in August, let me know that too. And also let me know if you'll be at the Flock Fiber Festival, because I'm very excited. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend, and I hope it's a great week coming up. So yeah, thank you for being with me here today. Happy knitting, everybody. I'll see you next time.